right. So good afternoon and welcome to the AI and SEO Growth Blueprint webinar. So my name is Brian. I'm a sales engineer at CallTrackingMetrics, and I'm thrilled to be here with our fantastic partner, Ignite Dental, specifically Jazz and Corey. Thanks for joining today, guys.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Super excited to be here. Thanks.
We've got a powerhouse session lined up today because let's face it, SEO isn't just about keywords anymore. It's about smart AI-powered insights that turn data into dollars. So today we're going to dive into how AI is revolutionizing SEO with our game-changing tools. We'll kind of go over some VoiceAI and Ask AI, and then the fellows over at Ignite have a lot of nice content to show you all as well. So just to start off, so 60% of US consumers prefer to contact a business by phone after finding them online. So really interesting stat showing that voice remains the top engagement channel compared to email, in-person visits. And that's kind of how it ties directly to CallTrackingMetrics' value proposition by emphasizing the importance of tracking and optimizing phone interactions, helping businesses capture these high intent leads and connecting marketing efforts to real actual conversations that are taking place. So the tools. So before we dive too deep, I did find an interesting stat that I wanted to share with everyone today. A recent Gartner report found that AI-driven SEO can boost organic traffic by up to 30%. So kind of found that was kind of revealing for this webinar today. And SEO has evolved from just basic static keyword stuffing to dynamic user intent mastery, and AI is the accelerator of all this. So think about it, traditional SEO relies on guesswork and manual audits, but AI flips the script by analyzing actual conversations that are taking place and predicting trends and personalizing at scale. So turning customer pain points, this is something that we do here at CTM. So we leverage our sales and support calls as they are gold mines because this is actual customer insights that we're getting. So our AI tool can extract SEO, optimize content ideas, pain points, a long tail of keyword that we all know that Google loves. So no more just sitting through hours of audio and doing tedious tasks where it's all automated now from actionable intel. And that's where our tool shines. Ask AI takes phone transcripts and pairs them with custom AI queries to deliver SEO-ready outputs. So content briefs, frequently asked questions, keyword extraction, and competitor gap analysis. So leveraging this in conjunction with our VoiceAI tool brings to life with natural voice interactions with new and existing clients that are coming in. All righty. So with this slide, what I wanted to highlight was our VoiceAI feature. So this takes things much further. This ensures, one, that no phone call goes unanswered. We are seeing a ton of use cases since this feature came out of beta. Most popular, I would say, is qualifying leads ahead of connecting them with actual live representative, after hours calls, and then taking calls when agents are busy. So the days of sitting online waiting for a live representative, people are tired of that. They'll just flip on and find another competitor to go with. And that's where our VoiceAI tool really steps in and enhances that experience. So it gathers all that pertinent information. It does a warm or cold transfer over to a live agent, but is also giving that agent a summary of what has already been captured. So that way nothing is being repetitive, and the sales agent or customer service rep is well equipped with what they're walking into ahead of making that real-time connection. For our clients using the VoiceAI feature, they leverage our custom prompt tools to ask typically 4 to 5 pre-qualifying questions ahead of connecting with the human. So this is helping our clients filter out callers who maybe reached the wrong number, calling for a service not currently offered, and even routing calls to the top sales performer. The lead is hot. So just checking all the boxes, the pre-qualification journey. And then here are some stats of some early successes we've seen across our client base. The beauty of our AI-driven features is customization across the industry and our business. the one common thing they all have in common is they are all seeing impactful results. So next, let's kind of take a dive into our features. So first, I'm going to just pull up our VoiceAI tool. And what's nice about CTM and what this feature is the customization aspect of it. So we do have some presets built into the platform that can do a Q&A AI or a routing AI. So what we mean by routing AI is maybe department routing, asking a few questions and then routing it to sales or support or customer service. We have those presets already built in, but the real beauty is the custom AI. So if you have specific questions that you want your voice agent to ask ahead of transferring to a live rep, this is where you can go ahead and bake all this in. The actual instructions piece, you can leverage multiple tools to build out these instructions. Everybody does it a different way. There's not one way to do this, which is nice. But you bake in your instructions, you give it a role and give it a call flow. And then what we allow our customers to do is choose from 47 different voices to leverage. So we kind of have some multilingual bots here. We have some male, female. We have ones that support DTMF. So it's very customizable with the voice, and you can find a tone that fits your business. We also allow our clients to go ahead and set a creativity level. So depending on the tone of the business, you can really make it very creative or you can make it least creative. And one of the two really nice enhancements with this is including caller context. So a lot of complaints, and I know we've all faced it calling a bank, it doesn't know who you are when you're calling in. So if you're a repeat customer, our VoiceAI tool will actually greet you and say, hey, Corey, thanks for calling back in. Not a lot of these tools are doing that these days. So a really nice enhancement to use, past contact details and past call summary information to kind of pick up where a conversation left off the last time. And then last is live activity awareness pieces. Our VoiceAI can actually capture inbound text messages. So we see this in a few different use cases. So one, I would say for the behavioral health spaces, everyone hates to read their policy information over the call. You can actually have a text message that goes over to our VoiceAI agent. It's going to confirm all the details we capture from that card right there on the spot. And same would go for any other use case where a picture is required to move forward, or if it helps lead the conversation a little bit better. And then the last piece that I'll hit on from the VoiceAI aspect of it is the tools. So the tools allow you to do a few different things, such as sending text messages, being able to go ahead and send emails, transferring to a live agent or even to another VoiceAI, tagging calls for reporting, and then also being able to capture fields, which we'll talk a little bit more high level when we talk about Ask AI. Now pivoting over to the AI piece. So this fully baked in product is something that was built into CTM almost immediately after ChatGPT became a thing. So our member, Jason Smith, was at the forefront of this, and we really have built off of it over the last few years. As AI has evolved, we've done the same. So what this tool allows you to do is, one, gather those insights that are valuable to you, but then also, have these results post to an output, which can then be used for better reporting, being able to take a bulk of several outputs from maybe a month long of calls, and then gathering key insights and trends. So this is the beauty of all this, and you can go ahead today and build out any prompts. And what we're doing is we're leveraging the call transcriptions with your questions to be able to gather all these insights. So we have a few that are catered around the SEO market, and there's a ton of clients that are actually leveraging these same prompts today. One really nice thing is, and we hear this all the time, is for those folks that are calling in maybe with a wrong number, or maybe it's not a great time to talk, you can actually bake in conditions to tell it to only fire if maybe a talk time is greater than 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. You can bake all that into the product. So within these prompts, let's kind of look at some of the cool results that we get. So we saw Shawn Michaels had came in, looks like he was dealing with an ant problem, but this phone call had ended, and literally seconds later, we were able to go ahead and gather all this valuable information that can then be sent to the marketing team immediately after the call has ended. So keyword extraction analysis. Able to get blog posts, outline generation, frequently asked questions, and then competitor gap and content optimization. So literally all this valuable information is based off of a transcription that's happened, again, with either a potential new or an existing client. So you're taking what they're saying and implementing it into your today task.
That's awesome stuff, Brian. I love that. You can build a full-fledged strategy just based on that. That's really, really good.
Yep. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Jazz. Take it away, Jazz.
Hey, thanks for that, Brian. Pop up our screen here. And hi, everyone. And first, I'd like to thank Brian and the CTM team for having Corey and myself here today. And obviously, I'd like to thank everyone else for attending. My name is Jazz, if you can't tell by the name down there. I'm the business development manager here at Ignite Digital. We're a digital marketing agency that's been around since 2008, and it never ceases to kind of blow my mind that 2008 was 17 years ago, but I'm not gonna kind of harbor on about the passage of time. I bring it up because we've been around for so long, and that means we've seen a lot of platforms and a lot of trends come and go. One thing that's remained consistent is just how important it is to stay on top of Google and obviously to stay on top of your competition. So that brings us to our topic today, which is one of the hottest topics, at least in the search industry right now, and that is AI. And I'm sure we've heard all the buzz, people saying AI is changing everything. Maybe you've heard people even in panic saying that SEO is dead. But what I'm here, hopefully, to show everyone today is that SEO is not only alive, it is well, and it's actually the key to winning this AI-driven world. Hopefully, by the end of all this, you guys get to see or just have a better understanding about why SEO honestly is more important than ever. It's not just about ranking anymore. It's actually about teaching the AI that you are the company that customers can trust. So I'd like to start off with a bit of a reality check. And this is probably the most important concept for a lot of people to grasp nowadays. And it's that your business actually has two identities. And that first identity is one that you know. It's the one that you built yourself. It's your brand, it's your website, your employees. It's that hard-earned trust and reputation that you have in your community. But there is that second identity now, and that's the one that you don't get to control directly. That's the identity that Google's AI and all the other LLMs out there have built for you. And we call this your digital twin. And this twin is created by piecing together all little bits of information that AI can find out about you online. Your reviews, your business listing, content, even what other people are saying about you across the web. And the kicker here is that the digital twin is often what customers see first before they even click onto your website. So a question I like to ask everyone, honestly, just keep in the back of your mind is, do you know what your digital twin is telling your customers? Is it building you up as an authority, or is it keeping you invisible? That's why we're honestly having this conversation today. The strategies that we'll go over, they're ones that let you take control of that digital twin. And right now, they are a massive competitive weapon. It honestly is one of the greatest opportunities that we have right now to gain an unfair advantage in any industry. But the thing about windows of opportunities is that those windows do close. In this window, we've probably only got about 12 to 18 months left. At that point, these strategies aren't going to be optional. They're going to be the standard, and they'll be the baseline just to compete. Really, businesses who act now can leap far ahead of their competitors. People that wait, they'll end up scrambling to catch up when it's already too late. I think it's kind of akin to real estate. The best time to buy is before the neighborhood gets hot. That's exactly where we are today with AI and SEO. That window of opportunity won't stay open forever. We'll talk about some challenges that people and companies are facing out there. I call it the lead gen dilemma. When we get to talk to people, when Corey and I get to talk to people, we always ask, what are, some of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now? And the answer is usually boiled down to one of the three. The first is commodity leads. If you don't know what a commodity lead is, it's a lead from an aggregate website, pretty much a lead that you've paid for from another source that's not an ad. And 45% of the businesses that we get to talk to say this is their number one challenge because they're tired of competing on price because you already know that that lead from that aggregate site, they're shopping around, they're pitting you up against 5 to 10 other competitors, and they end up squeezing your margins. The second most popular answer that we get is the unpredictable ads, PPC on Google, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all those fantastic platforms, if set up properly. Owners end up saying that those unpredictable ads kind of feel like gambling. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. You never know really which one it's going to be at any given day. And the third answer that we see quite often, lost opportunities. 20% of people that we talk to honestly just end up admitting that they're invisible on those search results, and that's why they don't end up getting their leads and they're losing to their competitors. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Good news is the solution doesn't come from just throwing more money at those aggregator, those commodity leads, or those ads. It comes from building authority through SEO. The single biggest shift that we've seen in search in the last decade is the fact that Google is no longer just a list of links. Today, when someone goes online and searches, for example, the best HVAC company near me, they're going to see more often than not an AI generated overview right at the very top. That's the new reality of how your customers are going to find you. So if you let that sink in, your first impression no longer is your homepage or the content that you've created for people to see. Your first impression is whatever the AI is saying about you. That box is your digital twin in action. So if you're featured in that answer, customers are going to come to you pre-sold. They see you as the definitive answer. And if you're not, well, they're probably not going to find you at all. So again, I'm going to ask everyone, when your customers are searching in your area for you, what story is AI telling them about you? How does AI think? How does it decide who to feature? First and foremost, even though it might feel like it sometimes, AI is not magic. It doesn't have feelings and it doesn't guess. It's a summary and it synthesizes that summary from what the AI considers to be the most credible sources and the most relevant information that it can find online. It's building its understanding of your business by scanning everything it can to figure out who is the authority, that true authority for that answer. Specifically, it's going to be looking for things like clear, authoritative content, consistent business information across the web, positive reviews and mentions, and then something that some people are missing nowadays is structured data so that it can interpret your information easily. And based on those signals, it's then going to decide this is the business that I trust, this is the authority, and these guys aren't. So your job right now isn't actually to beat AI. It's to feed AI the right signals so that it recognizes you as the expert in your market. This new reality creates a brand new competitive landscape. In today's search world, there's only two outcomes for any business. On one side, you have the authority. That's when your brand becomes the trusted source. Google's AI and all the other LLMs, like the ChatGPTs and Perplexities of the world, recommend you directly. And customers come to you pre-sold, seeking you out by name. Or you end up on the other side, which is the invisible. That's where you're buried beneath the AI answer. You're forced to continue spending on your ads that can be unpredictable, continue to buy those commodity leads just to survive. You're stuck in that lead gen dilemma. Which side would you rather be on? That's really the choice. Sorry, that's the difference that SEO makes here for a lot of people. It helps AI decide whether to put you in the spotlight or leave you behind. So how do you win in that new landscape? How do you ensure you become the authority? The answer is simple. You teach AI and you teach it in the language that it speaks and understands, and that is search engine optimization. SEO is how you can communicate with the AI. It's how you say to it, hey, look at me, I am credible, I am trustworthy. This is why I'm the company that my customers are looking for. And without SEO, the AI has no reason to put you forward. With SEO, it's going to see you as the safest, most reliable bet. So if we want to take a look at what feeding the AI actually means, there's three main things that the AI is looking for. And conveniently, these are the exact same things that SEO has been providing for years. First off, AI wants authoritative content. It's looking for that high quality, factual, expert information. And what have people like Corey and myself and the rest of the SEO people in the world been preaching for years and years and years? On-page content optimization. The practice of creating that content that AI is looking for that proves your expertise. The second thing that it's going to look for is your public reputation. It's analyzing external signals like your positive reviews, user sentiment, and mentions by other reputable sources. What's another thing that Corey and myself and other SEOs have been saying for years? Focus on your backlinking. Get those off-page trust signals from other sources that are credible. And the third thing that AI is looking for is structured data. And that structured data translates all the content on your site into something that's almost instantly understandable for the AI to categorize. It's going to eliminate ambiguity. And another thing, surprise, surprise, that SEO has been providing for years is that technical foundation and markup, like schema, that allows the AI to easily parse your website and favorably feature your content. Again, the good news here, even though AI feels like it might be taking over the world, SEO gives you everything that AI is looking for. It's the exact tool that you need to speak AI's language. To put it even more simple, to win in the new age, you have to kind of just win in 3 different things. So your AIO checklist is number 1, your content authority. You have to ask yourself, am I the best answer to my customers' questions? Am I providing unique and valuable information? Or am I just regurgitating something that the other 5 links at the top of Google have already said? The second checkbox that we have to check off is your trust. Does the rest of the internet vouch for my expertise? Do I have a strong backlink profile? Do I have good positive reviews and user sentiment? And that third checkbox, your technical foundation, is your website built currently for trust and for clarity? Is it clean? Is it clear? Is it easy for the AI and your customers to actually understand? If you can check off all 3 of those boxes, you're ready to compete and win right now. I'd consider those the pillars of SEO, but those pillars, the content authority, the trust, and the technical foundation, they don't stand alone. They form a kind of self-reinforcing cycle. And the SEO flywheel, as we call it over here. And this is how it kind of works. This is how it works, and it builds sustainable momentum. So we'll start with your technical foundation. This is what makes your content through schema markup easier to find and to understand. Now that great content goes out and it's going to earn those trust signals. It's going to promote other people to backlink to your website. You might get reviews and mentions and all that good stuff. Now those trust signals are then going to tell the AI that you are the authority. And the magic is, with that authority, your content starts to perform even better, which is going to reinforce your technical foundation, which then reinforces your authority. And that's how that flywheel starts turning and continues to turn, creating this sustainable momentum. And it's going to compound over time. Let's dive a little bit further into that first pillar, your technical foundation. This is kind of the blueprint for your digital business. I like to see it as the blueprint for local dominance. And if that foundation isn't strong enough, nothing else will work. If you're in service-based industries, for example, customers are typically looking for a company near them. So your site has to be clean, clear, and trustworthy, not just for the AI, but for humans, if you want to show up for those critical near-me searches. So building blocks for that local dominance. It's not just one tactic, it's stacking signals, and they all build off of each other. They're kind of like layers. And those 4 layers are going to be your Google business profile. Layer number 2 is going to be your on-page local DNA. Then we've got your citations and your NAP, specifically making sure that they're consistent. And then that 4th layer, now that's super important, is your schema markup. I've already said this, but each layer is going to strengthen the other ones. And together, if executed properly, they prove to the AI that you are the go-to for your market. We'll very quickly break down each one. Layer number 1, your business profile. Think of this as your digital storefront. It's the new Yellow Pages, if people still use Yellow Pages. I can't remember the last time I cracked open one of those books, but We can imagine that it's the new Yellow Pages. This is honestly more often than not the first thing that AI is going to look for to gather its most basic and trusted information about you. So we need to make sure that it's perfectly optimized with the correct services, the correct hours, high quality photos. Sometimes people forget about those. And we need to make sure that we're feeding it with a steady, constant stream of fresh reviews. If this first layer, this business profile is strong, all the AIOs of the world are going to see you as a credible source. If it's weak or inconsistent, though, you will 100% struggle to get visibility. Layer number 2, your on-page local DNA. Really what this means is that your website cannot be generic. The AI wants to see proof that you are deeply connected in your communities or wherever you claim that you serve. So this means things like creating specific service pages for each city, suburb, neighborhood that you serve, embedding maps across the website, even including mentions of local landmarks in your content to prove those deep community ties. The stronger your local signals are, the more the AI sees you as the definitive company for your area. Layer number 3 is your citations and your NAP, what I like to call the web's echo. We need to make sure that your business information is echoed consistently across the internet. So your NAP, your name, address, and phone number, they need to be identical across every directory. That means Yelp, Home Advisor, the BBB. I'm not sure if people really go after them anymore, but we'll imagine that it's super, super important. All of those local business sites. If the AI starts to see inconsistencies across all of these citations, it's going to doubt your credibility. And for AI, doubt means risk. And even though AI gets things wrong sometimes, AI does hate making or taking a risk. So getting this stuff right builds foundational trust, honestly, not just with the AIs that I keep talking about, but with your customers. And layer number 4, schema markup or the technical handshake. This is a special piece of code, like the example that you can see on screen there, that you add to your site, and it makes it so the AI can read your website perfectly. Another way of viewing schema is kind of like handing Google and OpenAI and Perplexity a neatly filled out form instead of making it guess through a kind of messy paragraph. It's going to remove guesswork. It's going to remove ambiguity. It tells AI exactly what services you provide, where you're located, how to contact you. And that clarity is what earns visibility through those AIOs. So we've nailed our technical foundation, and we move on to pillar number 2, content authority. This is where we get to establish your brand as the definitive authority. Google rewards content that demonstrates EEAT. This is something that we've preached for years, and it has not changed. That stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This concept is exactly what the AI is trained to find. It means that you have to go beyond just saying, these are my services. It's about strategically building and signaling credibility with your content. The AI wants to cite sources that are genuinely helpful, that are comprehensive, that are unique, and expertly written. This is how you can show it that you are that source. So let's visualize EEAT. What does it actually look like in practice? Well, the first E, experience, show some real world case studies, maybe of your team, your employees, of difficult jobs that maybe you've completed. Share all of this on your website. The second E, your expertise. This is where you can publish detailed guides, for example. I'm going to stick with the HVAC example, like our AIO screenshot that we had. Maybe you write a guide on how to install a smart thermostat with or without a C-wire, which is something I had to learn very recently, and it was a pain in the butt. Or why forced air or central air, what's the difference? This is going to show that you truly know your stuff. We've got A, authoritativeness. This is when you have to look about or think about your reputation beyond your website. Get mentions in local papers, build partnerships with local businesses. And then we have T, trustworthiness. Make sure that things like pricing is clear on your website. Make sure your contact info is easy to find and showcase all of those positive reviews that you have and ideally continue to get. That's the kind of content that the AI loves to feature because it's genuinely useful for customers. And that brings us to the third and the final pillar, trust. And this is fueled by high quality backlinks and your reputation. Think of it this way: when a local trusted business links to you, when your name shows up in the media, when you get another 5-star review, those are all very powerful votes of confidence. And the AI watches everything, which sounds scary. I promise it's not that scary. It values all of those external signals, and it values them so highly because they show that you're not just claiming to be trustworthy. All of these other guys are telling me and vouching for you. I like to think of authority kind of like a trust battery. Every positive review that you get, every backlink, every mention, those are charging activities. Charges your battery up. And if you're at 100%, it's going to keep you topped up. But inconsistencies in business info, unanswered negative reviews or press, or just bad sentiment for your business online, those are all draining activities. They're going to drain your battery. AIOs and AI tools are drawn to a fully charged battery. Why? Because if that battery is full, it means that you're the safe, most reliable option for its users. Now, if we take everything that I've just blabbed on and on and on about and kind of go back to what a lead looks like, we can look at what the real world difference of all of this stuff kind of makes and the quality of leads someone might get. So on one hand, we still have the commodity lead. That's still the paid lead. They're still going to find you from ads and from aggregate sites. Like I said before, they have quotes from 5 other companies. When they start their conversation with you, it's never, hey, how's it going? It's, what's your price? That's a very low trust, a low margin, and a high stress lead. But if you use everything that we've covered today and you build that authority, you're going to start getting authority leads through AIOs and SEO. That lead found you through the AIO. They've already read your helpful content because it got parsed. They've seen your positive reviews. They already trust you. Their conversation with you doesn't start off with, hey, what's your price? How much do you cost? It's going to start off with, I'm going to use HVAC again. I saw on your website that you specialize in chillers. Can you help me? That becomes a very high trust, high margin, and low stress lead. So what kind of lead would you rather be spending your time on or have your teams spend their times with? So if you're looking at that authority lead and you're saying that's the kind of lead that I need to start getting, we've actually built a pretty focused, easy to follow framework for people to follow. It's the authority sprint, as Corey and I have been calling it. It's simple, it's repeatable, it'll help you build trust, it'll help drive sustainable growth, and we'll make it very easy. Step number 1, your foundation. Conduct a full technical audit, implement your schema, and then optimize your Google business profile. That's the first thing that we need to do. Once you do that, you go into step 2, and that's building your authority. Look at launching a local content strategy guide with EEAT in mind. And then also look at building a review generation campaign, because we know we've all been there, where you go above and beyond for someone, they seem to love you, you ask them for a review and they say, yeah, Corey, I'll leave it. And then they never post that review. So go and develop that review generation campaign to actually get reviews published. And once you do that, we need to focus on building that momentum. This is where you're going to develop valuable content assets, begin link building to charge your trust battery and spin that flywheel faster. That sounds very simple, but that's how you're going to go from being invisible to being the authority step by step. Things get really exciting here. This is a complimentary competitive analysis, honestly, just as a thanks for everyone listening to me blab on and on about all the AIOs and the SEOs. For all the registrants that have attended today, we'll conduct a complimentary competitive analysis. What this means is we'll compare and we'll kind of peek inside of your competition's marketing performance. You'll see exactly how your website stacks up against your competitors, and we'll show you where they're strong, where they're weak, and where you can gain an edge. It's a sneak peek, really, of your competition's website's health, their SEO strengths and weaknesses, and therefore their AIO performance. And honestly, it's kind of a critical first step in taking control of your digital twin there. What I'll do is I'll personally kind of walk through people, all the nitty-gritty details that we have to go through. I'll try to make it easy to digest and understand. And every time we get to go through these competitive analysis, The data is different. It's unique to you, which means that I'll be able to give you tailored actions that you can act on immediately. The bottom line, honestly, right now is that AI is deciding who wins the customer in your market. Will it be you, or will you let it send people to your competitors? Are you going to be the authority, or are you going to be invisible? I I've honestly, that's kind of it for me. I'd like to thank everyone for joining and listening. I saw a bunch of questions kind of rolling in there. Not sure if Corey
Yep.
and Brian saw those as well.
Yep.
But I guess, yeah, we're ready and waiting for those questions, and we're happy to answer them.
Yeah, no, Jazz, thank you so much, buddy. Listen, I've been in the industry now for just over 6 years, and every single time I hear you speak, you make SEO sound like the most digestible thing in the world, especially in this new age of AI overview, prompts, and LLM answers, and different queries and different content shifts, et cetera, et cetera. You do such a great job of making it nice and easy to understand and digestible, so I appreciate that. With both of our audiences here, with CallTrackingMetrics and with us at Ignite, listen, we've got a mixed bag of an audience here, right? We have some people who see the leads flowing all the time, and we have some people who are trying to dig deep and find new ways to achieve these leads. And I think you did a great job kind of explaining how SEO and optimizing for AI can work with a whole boatload of different types of industries and sizes, et cetera. So I really appreciate that, man. Great job, first of all. You're right. I've got a bunch of questions that have been flowing in. Some have been flowing in from kind of focused on our side and some of the things that you spoke about. I've also got some kind of curious questions for the team over at CallTrackingMetrics. Just some details, looks like, about VoiceAI, and I guess some details that people have based on the live demo that Brian did a great job of presenting. So, listen, I guess, Jazz, since you just finished speaking, I'll kind of start with some of the questions based on our presentation, if that's okay with you. I know you like
Yeah.
you said, you've been talking for a while, but I don't want to give you too much of a break. I want to keep you hot while you are.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me see here. Let me see here. I'll stay on the topic. Okay, I got one here. It says, I don't understand AI. Do I need to be an AI expert? It's a great one.
That's a great one. And honestly, I don't think anyone out there, even the people that develop the AI, can really call themselves AI experts. It's advancing so rapidly. But to answer the question, you absolutely don't need to be an AI expert. You don't need to actually understand the complex technology behind all of it. What you do need to do is be able to provide it with the right signals. And hopefully, as I made kind of as clear as possible, is those signals are the components to excellent, high level, customer focused SEO.
That's great. No, and fantastic. I nothing to elaborate on that. That's very well said. You're right. And at the end of the day, it's a different landscape for all of us, right? And I think everything that's new, develop or needs a lot of different testing and a lot of different research. And I think you start at that. You start to think in the mindset of your client, and you have to be asking questions and thinking, okay, what kind of questions would my ideal client be typing into an LLM, into
Yeah.
ChatGPT, into Gemini, etc., in order to find my company. Uh,
Yeah.
And this can kind of piggyback on some questions that I know I've been seeing throughout the presentation. I know I elaborated and I answered one in text, in regards to authority content, and are you changing the type of content that you're creating now that AI is picking up some of these queries? And I think that kind of answers that as well, right? Because it's no longer the days of for lack of better words, spray and pray, where you're thinking volume, volume, volume. I'm going to post as much content as humanly possible. Now it's thinking, okay, when I go ahead and post a blog post, do I have an author bio on there? Now, for that author bio, is it linkable to a page on my website where I have our team? In that page from our team is everyone's job titles and everyone's previous mentions on whether it be on you've done a news article with Forbes magazine, or you're featured on on Inc. magazine, etc., are those linked on your author bio and on your team page? Now, questions about a company, right? It's no longer writing a blog post and saying, my company sells plumbing services. It's going to be, how detailed is your about us page? Do you go through how long you've been in the industry and when your company started? Do you dig deep into how many states or cities that you cover? Or do you focus on, we're solely, Washington State, for example? You need to really, really think about having as much detailed content now on these main power pages of your website rather than thinking just volume, volume, volume. I think we're in the day and age now with AI picking up on certain queries. We're in the day and age of quality over quantity. And I think a lot of people need to think about that. And also, again, do the research using LLMs. Find out how you're getting picked up and optimize for those types of questions and those searches. So thank you. I wanted to add a little bit to that because we get so many questions on changing content and has authority content changed. And again, for a very short answer, yes, but it's just focusing more again on quality versus quantity. Now, I got a couple other ones here. Jazz, I know you're going to laugh at this because we've had a lot of internal debates in the office about, I got a question here from our friend David. What about trying to develop mentions on sites like Reddit? I'll go ahead and cover this one, Jazz, give you a little bit of a break. This is this is a big debate currently within the industry. It's a big talking point. And David, to your point, I'd also add the very popular website Quora in there as well. That's also a very, very interesting website that's popping up all the time, quite frankly, on rankings now within the top 3 to 5 positions, within pretty much, I'd say, somewhere in the world of 65 to 75% of every single AI overview result, especially if it's coming in from a question. And again, I think we go back to some of Jazz's slides, which I'm sure we'll be able to supply to any of you guys who will require it. Jazz spoke a lot about tone in content now. If you think about the way that people are utilizing these, these LLMs, again, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., they are using it in a conversational tone, right? They are not doing the traditional SEO of, again, sorry, plumbing is on my head right now, plumbing company near me. No, they are now searching, what is the best plumbing company in my local area of, XYZ town or city? That is the way that people are utilizing these tools now. So it is no surprise that websites like Reddit, websites like Quora are now getting picked up because, listen, I don't know out of all the participants here who has, Reddit profiles or Quora profiles, but from what I can see on the websites, it's a very conversational tone on both of those websites. People are having conversations. There is no, formal, I guess you can say, dialect on there. It's very conversational. It's very honest. It's very transparent. And so there's no surprise now why some of these mentions are getting pulled up on Reddit and Quora. I think it's important to try, David, to develop mentions on a site like Reddit. With that being said, Reddit is a very protected workspace. They have very passionate people within Reddit. Each subreddit will get extremely aggravated if you're making it a very obvious selling point or an obvious advertising or marketing push on their subreddits. They tend to block and commit people to making sure that they I think the terminology is downvote or try to block your post. And then, it's very likely your profile is removed, etc. So I think it's important to think about, being a helpful source on some subreddits. I know that we've done a little bit of that. Like if people have an SEO concern or question, one of our team members will jump in there and just simply give an answer to help. But the second you push your company, tends to get a little bit messy in that world. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because that's also, since the rise of AI, Reddit and Quora has been a big talking point. And we've investigated and researched into it, but important to not hard sales pitch in those types of websites. Just be a helpful source.
Yeah. I think Corey, you hit the nail on the head. It's those websites. It's really about becoming a thought leader and a helpful personality as opposed to, hey, talk to me. I can sell you a service or a product, blah blah blah. Just helping them out, and that way they will start talking about you. They will generate that press, and you'll slowly but surely see you get picked up.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Okay, let's see. Got another one here. And I think we can kind of double down on this question here. So we got one question from an anonymous. We have multiple locations that have different Google business pages within New York City. It seems our competition has only one location. They're benefiting more from AI overview. So they're asking, is there anything else that we can do having multiple locations? And I think Jazz is kind of can piggyback to a big question we get a lot of the times, maybe kind of talking about, how do you separate this, multiple competitors all in one small geospace? And if you want, I can elaborate a little bit on the business page side of it.
I'm curious if we're going to say the same things here, but I guess I'll kick it off. I do think that's a really good question, and it's number one, anonymous. You're not alone. It happens all the time, and I'm very happy to see that you said you're going to start implementing some of the things that we talked about here. A couple of things just to be mindful of and to watch out for as you're doing this. If you have multiple different Google Business Profile pages, but you have one central website that you operate off of, make sure, no brainer, all of your locations are mentioned and each one of those locations clearly defined with their phone numbers and their NAP consistency, making sure if you have in a location in one borough and another one, phone numbers are consistent on their business profiles as they are on your website. That would be the biggest one that stands out to me, but Corey, I'll let you elaborate a little more.
Yeah, no, and I know, Jazz, we've gotten a lot of questions about, I remember at one point we had a phone call a couple of days ago, and a gentleman told us, I'm competing with a national company that covers the entire state of Arizona. I am specifically in this niche market of Phoenix. How can I compete? And I can't remember what slide number it was, but there was one slide that in your presentation where you were elaborating a lot on how out of all times, out of all, seasons of SEO, this is the season where you can really take advantage of this window before it closes. And I think it's for people like that who are honed in on such a small geographic location, where if they can classify themselves as that specific neighborhood expert, that local next door expert that's going to fix, whether it be, home services industry, you sell B2B, you're a retail company, whatever the case may be, because of the way people are using these LLMs, you have a fantastic opportunity now. If you focus on some of the things that Jazz has spoken about content authority and types of content, etc., you have a really, really good chance now to stand out as that local hero, that local standout company. And some of these large companies who are, I guess in a way spreading themselves too thin, they can kind of get hurt a little bit by this because they have a whole bunch of different content pieces that are focused on an entire state or an entire country, and AI overview will be quick enough to pick up on that and make sure that it's providing your local option. So just to piggyback on that a little bit, but Jazz did a great job. But yeah, it's like you said, it's a fantastic opportunity in front of us right now. Okay, what else do we got? Yeah, sorry.
There was actually a really interesting question that I saw here. Brian, I actually think this is for you guys. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'll read it out for you as well. Are these AI-driven SEO outputs in a HIPAA-compliant environment aligned with CTM BAA?
Yes. And so one thing I encourage is we have a BAA on file with our AI provider, and I would encourage getting a BAA on file with us as well. So if it's something you're interested in, we can have your account manager reach out to you directly after this call, so that way we can go ahead and get that set up for you all. And piggybacking off that, there was a question from one of the other guests about us using the calls to train our AI, and that's something we're not doing. What we are doing is there's a feedback tab that's available on the Voice AI, and we're looking for your feedback. So if you're noticing something that's not working properly or something you want the AI bot to do that it doesn't currently offer, that's where we want that feedback to go ahead and enhance that feature. But again, we are not using past calls to enhance our product.
Very nice. Cool. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
That's important. That's really important because
yes.
I know people are always iffy with AI and giving
Yep.
information. So it's nice to hear that you guys aren't stealing anything.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Okay. Let's see. I got few more minutes here.
I saw, sorry, Corey, if you don't mind, I see Brent's question about schema markup. I figured I'm going to answer it real quick for you, Brent. Schema markup can look really intimidating, and your question was, can you talk to us about schema markup? Can clients do that on their own, or should they lean on experts? Look, if you have an in-house developer, if you have a team already dedicated to doing this stuff for you, they should have the ability to implement schema for you pretty effectively. You can definitely try to implement schema yourself if you don't have a partner to help you out. The only concern is if you feed it the wrong information, well, now you're potentially showing up for the wrong stuff and you're going to spend a little time trying to recover from it. So it's best if you don't have a dedicated in-house person to do this stuff, it's probably best to lean on an expert just to make sure that you're not kind of backtracking afterwards.
Good answer. Love that. Okay. Thank you for that, Jazz. Thanks for taking care of that one. We got a lot of them here. Trying to make sure that we take care of as many questions as possible, guys. Okay. You touched on schema markup with Brent. I'm recognizing that we've got a lot of questions here, just talking about different social media strategies. I'm seeing Isaac asking about images, YouTube Shorts, and video content, as well as Brent's previous question, asking if social media plays in lending credibility to organizations who want to get found. So I guess just packaging that all into one, let's just include, YouTube alongside the general social media strategies. Again, short answer, yes. I think it is always important to have a social media presence. Do I think that you should be posting, stock images on a daily basis on Instagram? No. But one thing I definitely do believe in, depending on the industry, of course, is if you've got testimonials, if you've got case studies and they're in video form, go ahead and pop them into YouTube. Go ahead and cut them up and put them into YouTube Shorts and 30-second clips, 15-second clips, and utilize that on your website. AI will 110% pick up these video links, and it will add to your authority, just as Jazz was mentioning in the presentation. AI tends to love not just written content, but also loves to see you in a whole bunch of different types of marketing mediums. And I think having an excellent video strategy is always 100% recommended. I think it'll definitely increase your probability of getting picked up from some AI searches. For example, again, just let's say I know Jazz presented a slide on the HVAC industry. Let's say there was an AI overview search. Someone asked, what are the top 5 companies who show success in the Portland, Oregon area for broken water heaters? If you have a customer testimonial section on your website, and there's a quote from, John Smith, who did some work with your HVAC company, that says, they fixed my water heater within a day, and they sent out a technician, and everything was done within 24 hours. 100% AI overview is going to pick that up. They're going to pick up that quote, and they'll also add you as that little link section that Jazz showed in one of the slides, in order for that clickable link to go right back to you. And that's how you optimize for AI. So while I think every different company type benefits from different social media posts, YouTube specifically and YouTube Shorts, I think, is a excellent place to be right now. But post good content, post helpful content, things that your clients would be looking forward to watching. So yeah, just a little long answer there.
Brian, I think I see one maybe for you to tackle here. healthcare. How do you see AI impacting SEO for healthcare specific organizations? What can they do to get ahead?
I just start leveraging our customizable tool. So with our AI powered call transcriptions and sentiment analysis, it helps uncover what real patients are searching and asking about. So that's where, what's nice about us is you can have these customized asks. So, maybe you're thinking something outside the box where you can plug that into our platform and start using off of actual, real conversations that are taking place day to day. So I think what your patients and clients are saying is key, and leveraging, those conversations to, give a better overall experience for those people in need. It goes a long way. So that's what I got.
Nice, right on.
Okay, I'm trying to answer some in the kind of typing some out too. Again, I don't want to miss all your guys' questions. Let's see. So covered a little bit of video content, covered a little bit on social media, etc. And just so you guys do know, we'll be sending up follow-up emails to all the questions post-webinar. If we don't get around to every single one of them, we'll make sure to get them answered over to you with the help of the CallTrackingMetrics team. So thank you guys for that. Now, Jazz, one here for you, maybe a good way to kind of wrap this up here. So I guess a good one would be, how long will it take to see, SEO success, SEO results? How would you kind of classify that as a bit of a breakdown in time?
That's a good question. A bit of a loaded answer, and I know that we're kind of, running down the wire here. So I'll try to answer it quickly. Truthfully, the answer that no one wants to hear is that it's going to be different for everyone. That's just the reality of it. But a good time frame or kind of rules of thumb here, that most people end up following is your first 1 to 2 months are you're laying a foundation that you need to build off of. You're re-optimizing the website, your content is getting up to date, you're building those link building and review generation strategies. So your first 2 months are really laying a foundation. Month 3 is when things should ideally start to turbocharge. So you're developed these strategies. Now you start implementing them. You put them into action. Your link building really gets really aggressive, and you find that your authority starts to build up and up and up. So month 3 to month 6 is usually when you see this snowball start to kind of build up, and from month 6 onward, most people find that they have that sustainable momentum. You want to keep packing more snow onto the snowball so that it can get even bigger, but typically from month 6 onward, it's starting to sustain itself a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Jazz. I know that that's a very curious question for a lot of viewers. So I want to make sure we got that done. And of course, partnering with something like, a Google ad strategy, Meta ad strategy, PPC overall strategy can help get those leads in for you nice and quick. Now, to wrap it up, Jazz, if you don't mind going to the next slide so we can show everyone CallTrackingMetrics, super cool swag pieces that they got here, some free gifts. I personally love this t-shirt. I'm definitely gonna buy one.
I love that too.
So guys, please check it out. It is a free thank you gift for you guys for joining. Again, thank you so much for sitting here listening to Jazz and I talk from Ignite Digital and listening to Brian talk from CallTrackingMetrics. I think CallTrackingMetrics has some fantastic new features rolling out. They're a fantastic partner for us. We personally love working with them with our clients in terms of lead quality, scrubbing, and just overall keeping everyone accountable. It is a fantastic software that we continue to use and pitch to all of our clients. So again, Brian, thank you so much for having us, man. We really appreciate it. And I hope everyone learned something. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to check that link that is sent in the chat. Send Jazz or myself an email. You can find our contacts in our website. And please email if you guys need anything, questions, concerns, and we're happy to help you guys out.
Thanks, everyone.